So the first thing I do when I am getting ready to do an eyeball on any animal is I figure out the color of the iris. And so this dog has a very coppery, yellowy color iris. And so I've mixed that color, and I'm just going to do one layer of that color first. A little more paint. Okay. So one layer of this pretty copper color. Okay, so this dog has a lot of dark brown around the edges of its eyes, which I've already sort of put in, but before that dries, I am going to put a little more to make the eyeball look rounder. So I'm going to take this brown and I'm going to line the eye with it, like this. It's okay if it's a little heavier at the top, because that's where the shadow is. And I'm going to rinse my brush off, and I'm going to blend this into this copper color so that it looks a little more round. You don't want any hard lines, so at least not at the end. Okay. Now, this dog has highlights at the bottom of its iris. So I'm gonna, in order to make this color look a little more solid, I'm gonna add some white into it, especially at the bottom, because that's where the highlights are. And again, I'm going to rinse my brush, dry it off, and blend this. Okay. Now, so this dog does have some pretty heavy eyelids, which means that it's going to have more shadow at the top. So I'm going to take black and I'm going to add a little bit more up here to beef up that shadow. And then I'm also going to add the pupil, which is the most nerve-wracking part for me. So, alright, so the pupil is the black dot basically in the middle of the eyeball. But it moves depending on what position the dog is in. So this dog, the pupil comes from the top, but it's pretty round. So I like to kind of just dab the black on and work my way down and work my way out to make a round pupil or semi-round pupil. A little bit more. Okay. Now, again, you don't want to have any hard edges. So I blend the edges of the pupil out. So when I do the pupil, I make it just a little smaller than it needs to be, not much. And then I just kind of blend the edges out so that it's not like a sharp line. Like that. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm going to, I still am not fond of how this looks, so I'm going to add a little more color back into it, and that happens sometimes. So I'm going to add a little more of the copper back in down here, just so it's a little more solid. And then I'm going to take just a tiny bit of white, like super minuscule. And I'm going to put it here to add the highlight back in. But then I'm going to rinse my brush so I don't have a lot on it. And I'm going to blend it. Because I don't want to take away that color, but I still want it lighter at the bottom than at the top. Yeah, I can come up this far. Okay, blend this out. Okay, now I like to have the pupils relatively solid, so I'm going to add a little more black into this pupil because I think it is a little too translucent. And then I'm going to blend it out just a little bit. It's a little more round. Okay. I still just don't love. And sometimes you have to kind of play with it. Like, this is too bright right here. So sometimes you still have to go back and add a little color, and that's okay. It's a lot of give and take. Okay. The final step, which is extremely important, is to add the highlights into the eyes. So everybody has reflections in their eyes. That sounds actually really nice. Anyway, everybody has reflections in their eyes. And so I'm looking at the picture, and this dog has what looks like a white dot here, approximately. And I don't want to pick up any black, so I'm going to rinse my brush for the second white dot. And it goes about here. Now, the only thing is, it's not natural to have a perfectly round dot in somebody's eye. So, even though it kind of looks like it in the picture, you need to blend the edges into the pupil. And sometimes in doing so, you take away too much white, but that's okay. You can always add that back in. So I'm going to go back in and add the white back just in the center. I didn't pick up any white. Try that again. Just in the center. Okay. And I still think this could use just a touch down here. Maybe not quite that much of a touch. I'm going to go back to a little bit of yellow. So just like that. Okay. And so now it's still a little bright at the bottom. I'm not sure if that's just because I'm being impatient and I need to get it to dry a little more, but let's just see. I add this color back in, then it should be good to go. Yeah. Okay. One eyeball.